always had flair, we always had attacking player, but making the team a little bit more resolute defensively and well more organized, and allow the front players to go on and create and be themselves. It's well documented. We haven't had proper football league going on for a little while. I mean, it's no excuse. We're here to play a game. So to see the guys implement and try to do the right things, the things that we've been teaching, is most important to see. And if it is that the desired result is to get a victory, a result out of it, then it will come. But doing the right things consistently is what will bring the right results that we want. These two games will tell a lot because Jamaica brought a very good team, a lot of foreign-based players inside of the team. So we have primarily a locally based team with a sprinkling about 2 senior guys who we haven't seen for a while. So we want to see them in the game to see if they could get in the squad come Nations League later this month. So it will tell us a good bit about where our football is if we could play against these class of players with our local base players.
Does it mean that players like Jovan Jones, who is back in the side, do you feel that it's more on his shoulders now to shoulder that leadership role?
No, really. Jovan is now actually trying to make back the team because we haven't had him after the first game in the Nations League because he fell out of favour with his club. He wasn't fit, and now he's a free agent unattached, as you see. So this is an opportunity for him to also show himself. He's been training well with the group, and hopefully, he can stake a claim for a space in the squad that comes.
And I know that you have 2, promising 18-year-olds in the squad. Can you tell us about them and what are you hoping to see if they get the chance to get the opportunity?
We wanted a couple more. Unfortunately, some of the clubs had pre-season trips and we didn't get some of the younger guys that we wanted. But we have about 8 or 9 uncapped players in this squad, and those 2 guys really exciting. Kile, we've been after him for a little bit over a while, and he's really wanted to be a part of this. He had some issues before. We're expecting big things from him. And also Nathaniel, who went to us with the under-20s. He was only 17 at that time, and he was the second, one of the top 5 top scorers in that tournament, which we came out of a very difficult group. So we're looking for things from him also. He's one definitely we think for the future. He's pending. He's just at a trial in Norway, and we're hoping that he will secure the contract that he went out on.
What are you hoping to make sure to get out of these 2 games, whether it's attacking wise or style of play?
The style of play, basically, because we've been trying to change the culture back to what we used to do a long time. So we want to make the team very strong defensively. That is an area that we think we lacked in a lot in the past. And we always had flair, we always had attacking player, but making the team a little bit more resolute defensively and well more organized, and allow the front players to go on and create and be themselves.
Obviously, the World Cup, in terms of how you get to the World Cup, is going to be very interesting. It's no longer a hexagonal or octagonal, but it's a process, and like a more process, 2 rounds to get there. But I want to find out from you, do you feel that the way that it's structured, do you feel that it's the best chance that you guys have to make back the World Cup for the first time?
I like the old way because probably I'm old school, the way we go through, everybody play one another and we go to the hex, The Concacaf is very different in that regard. I'm not a fixture expert, but everybody else, if you go in Europe, Malta gets to play England, and England goes into Malta, and whoever the big teams are, they go home by the minnows. It's sort of different here in the Concacaf, and we just have to adapt it because we really have no choice in the matter. Well, we have unattached players, and Jamaica bringing in players with passport and parent from Europe every day. Curacao just brought in 6 more from Holland. I'm doing my homework, and you see Suriname is doing the same thing. So it's not as easy as people is going to think. Costa Rica is still a powerhouse. They've been to how much World Cups. You have Panama inside of there, so it's not easy. But I think that we can do it if we settle down and come together as a country and really back the team as you guys are doing over here. And if we can do that, then I think we have a good chance of qualifying, to be honest.
Do you feel, and finally, in terms of your recruiting, do you feel that there's maybe a little bit increase in demand for players that want to maybe represent Trinidad? Is that something that you're hoping to get that kind of overseas?
Yeah, we do have demand. The problem is that we have a grandparent issue which I've been lamenting over and over and over. So I don't want to beat the dead horse. We could only get players who have direct parentage to come over, unlike you guys who could bring third generation and stuff like that. So we're not worried. Traditionally, when we went to the World Cup in 2006, the only foreign-based player we really had, well, not born in Trinidad, that is, was Chris Burchill. So we normally and traditionally produce good players. So there's the route that we have to go, and we can't think about something that we cannot do. We just have to be in the space that we have and work with what we have. And you'll see on Saturday, and you'll see next week Tuesday this group of guys. You'll see. As I said, we have 8 or 9 guys have never been capped here, and everybody's going to play. It's a process for me. The only way we can go through that process is sometimes you have to fall down. They can fall down 7 times to get back up 8. So this is one of them occasions that we're going to allow the guys to go out there and play, and everybody's going to play. The whole squad is going to play in the 2 matches because we want to see as much players as possible.